adaptation research, policy, and outreach. His present research looks at technology, agriculture, and application in indigenous resources. Dr. Mitra has also served as a member of Global Technology Water Group, TIFAC, Department of Science and Technology. He is an elected member of the National Academy of Science, India. So with that background, I'd like to invite Professor Mitra to deliver his talk.
Thank you, Dr. Hashim, and very good morning to all of you. And it's like a homecoming for me at IIC Bangalore. And I was just sharing with Professor Kulkarni. Professor Kulkarni may not be able to remember, but I think last time we met in a meeting which was organized by my then colleague when I was working in School of Environmental Sciences, JNU, Ramanathan. So I hope you remember. Perhaps that was the last meeting that Ramanathan organized in that mega scale that he always likes to. And also, I have been coming to this campus, I think since my PhD times, that is mid-90s, and then had opportunity to interact and work together with Professor Raghavendra Gadakar. Some of you might be knowing here, not the new people, but the old one. And then he started inviting me every time I used to come back to India. I worked in after post PhD, didn't get a good job. I always like to tell the truth about that. I didn't get a good job. Probably that's why I had many opportunities. It was a bit frustrating at the beginning, but at the end, it is, I think, more than what I expected. And I always say it whenever I go, because whenever I see people at the range of 30, 33, I can understand that what kind of concern that it could have, even though having very strong science and technological knowledge with you. But don't worry, something better is waiting for you. So whenever I used to come visit my parents, I am from a small city in West Bengal, Durgapur. It's known for factories, steels, all kind of industry. In a small city, my population at that point of time was, I think, around 46 to 50,000, but we had 76 industries. And Professor Raghavendra Gadakar will tell the Sudeep, you have to come to a new center I have developed, like Center for Ecological Sciences. Many of you might be knowing it that. He used to like to work with insects, termites, and those different kind of insects. And I used to come here in this campus. Then I joined TERI. Some of you might have heard about that, the Energy and Resource Institute. It has a campus here. And I used to work with Dr. R.K. Pachuri, he is no more. And those are the days India's presence in climate change was pretty strong. And I had the opportunity of working straight away into IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, very early. I was just 33, 34, maybe. I was convinced that I could carry, because before that I had the experience of working already in the United Nations at the age of 29, 30, maybe 30. So I had the opportunity to work for Inter-Academic Council in Africa, IAC. When I was working at IAC, someone from here, from IAC only, a professor was chairing, Professor Govardhan Mehta. He was from IAC Bangalore, right? Professor Mehta. Professor Kulkarni, Professor Mehta was from here. Yes, so he was the chair of IAC That time we had the opportunity to also visit ISC a couple of times. That's what I said, that when I requested, though for last 10 days I was having severe flu. I have come here for another purpose. My son is getting admission here in college. And I was not very sure that I'll be able to talk even, but since yesterday feeling a little better. And when I came in the campus, I started feeling even better. Had a walk and found everything same. Well, by the time that I was talking with you, I hope that you had the chance to look at the center that Asim said I am heading right now. And I will share a little bit in my presentation. Let me just now get into that. Okay. Now I think I have to share in team. Shall I in the PPT or the full screen? PPT. Just check out if it is coming or not in your machine. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I will be talking not only the research that I do with my PhD students and research fellows, but I also have the responsibility today here because I have come with a motive here to seek, mutual collaboration. So I will be discussing about some of the works which are going on at the Center for Disaster Management. But I am a core faculty of School of Agro and Rural Technology. So it's become my responsibility to introduce my institute first. Many of you might be knowing it. Ashim was telling me, because he visits IIT Guwahati quite often, that is not it's almost similar, sir? I said no. Because the density of tree population at certain pockets at IIC even higher, even though we are in a naturally located, you can say it was a mountainous area. But to build IIT, the entire this part, as you see that there were 6 hills blasted off, and in each, this is the administration building, the highest hill of around 500 meter or so. And then there are various others. So you see the mighty Brahmaputra right here. And here is the famous Ma Kamakha. Kamakha Mataji is sitting here, looking towards IIT Guwahati and Brahmaputra. Right side it goes towards Calcutta, Bangladesh. Left side it goes towards Bhutan, Tibet. So this is our library and the campus, and these are water facing lakes, and this is auditorium, conference theater, all etc. etc. These are the little bar and view of various facilities. So this School of Agro and Rural Technology, we have MTech PhD programs, annual intake. Some of you might find interesting areas here happening. So again, this is a very multidisciplinary school. This was started as a center, converted into school, looking at the demand in the students community. So we have these many areas here, and faculty from almost all disciplines, civil, mechanical, electrical, you name it, are actually working in various aspects. And the second that is the Center for Disaster Management, which I just mentioned about. This center, all of you know, Guwahati, we are located surrounded by different kind of disasters. Right now, I'm talking here, thousands of people may be underwater. So because flood season is going on, every year it happens, landslide, earthquake, but somehow 25 years of existence, now 27, 2020 convocation when Honorable Prime Minister was addressing, all of a sudden, in his unique style, he just said, do you have any disaster center? Some people, no. You should have it as soon as possible because you are located there and you are the only IIT for the 8 northeastern states. So a center has to be established. And it was well covered in all national news. Prime Minister mentioned it, I think 20th of September 2020. And within 3 months, people who are into administration, academic administration can understand how tough it could be to develop all of a sudden new centers in just 90 days. We did it. Within 90 days, the center was on. By January 15th, when I was visiting, I'm a Bengali, but settled in Chennai. So I was visiting Chennai. It was Pongal time. Director Professor T.G. Sitaram, some of you might be knowing, again, he's from here. So he calls me and said that you have been given the responsibility, come back and start. That is how January 2021, this center started. This was I was talking about. So I think I am more or less right here. 21st September, not 20th September, 21st we addressed and then it was covered everywhere. So then what happened? COVID started. So it became too tough for me to actually carry out all the responsibilities and various other things. It took some time to formally inaugurate this center. We inaugurated 12th July. Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, nowadays nationally is a known face. So he immediately agreed to inaugurate this center. He wanted to come, but his security said then no, COVID is there. And IIT Guwahati, some of the hostels were made the COVID center. So then this is how the center formally inaugurated. With a vision, clear-cut vision and mission, we are running this center. You would be happy. We are just 2 years old, but this center has reached, I think, reasonably across the country and also many parts of the world, especially the countries which matters in the field of disaster management. Japan. I think Japan has so much convinced. The Japanese government has come forward and I have been asked to visit twice. I visited there. And today we have the JICA project, a 2-year-old center. And again, people who have run JICA project, you know that JICA project is a different kind of project. It's an institutional project. It's given to institution to build institutions. So we are lucky to have that. Probably we will very soon start. Day after tomorrow, I have a meeting with JICA headquarters in Tokyo. So we will build this center not only for Northeast, but my vision is to see this center to become as a hub for disaster management, not only disaster management. And that's why I say that disaster management and research. So we started with the MS straight away. January open, we advertised it. Masters, PhD. These are the area. And now it comes of scope for collaboration. These are the area. Certainly, we started the area on the basis of the available expertise at IIT Guwahati. Some of you already might be knowing. We have a very strong team in IIT working on various aspects of disasters, but they are working in their own parent departments, civil, mechanical, humanities. But here, I somehow tried to bring even other departments, computer science, because today cyber risk is another disaster. So we have computer people also. We have a very strong team working on ICT and cyber risk. This is the only center in the entire country who has considered cyber risk as a part of curriculum of disaster. And that's why probably that now UGC is also in touch with us, and we are helping also certain curriculum development for disaster management for the country. So, I mean, these are the strongest team that we have at IIT Guwahati. Climate change, agriculture. There are, leaving me, there are two more people. One looking at the socio-economic aspect. The other person look at the labor, economy and the political aspect of that. Road transportation, we have very strong team. Landslide, very strong team we have. Gender, economics, humanities, faculty. So colleagues from humanities to come and join. Probably don't. Because of, one thing I would like to share that kind of new institutional building, I found that it is not first time I developed few other centers in my career. I found that the personal, interpersonal relation work better than this one. So when I approach to humanities, often humanities faculty, they feel they are not neglected in science and technology. And so I told them that you are the most important part for my center. Please do join. And they join. And today we have curriculum you can check out. Most of the disaster management, there are few on the IIT system, but I can tell you that in another 3 years time, we will have at least 10 more centers. So we are working towards that direction. So now flood and cloud burst is another interesting aspect. And then cyclones and tsunami, remote sensing also, we have very strong team. Chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. When I added this one, so then there were a lot of questions that we don't have expertise. So this is one area that when we will go for recruitment for this center, very soon, I'm thinking about that because of certain administrative changes in our institute. Otherwise, by this year, we started recruitment also. We need few good people in this field, and we don't mind to go anywhere in the world to get. Because increasingly worldwide in the United Nations, whenever we attend the United Nations meeting for UNDRR, people across the world are expressing concern about CDRR. So these disasters, we have to take care, and we need good people from chemical background, biological, but of course they have to be very focused on that, not generalist. So these are the area as of now. Only this one we don't have any expertise. And that's why I could not able to create a course on this area. I will love to, but could not. So that's a challenge for me to get someone to do some research and teaching in this particular field. What happened? Sorry. Okay. So after this, now actually I will start the topic that I was supposed to discuss today. So just for some of you, maybe many of you already know what is climate smart. This is a climate smart is now a buzzword, and FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, climate change community, people are now increasingly talking about that. But before going into that, why actually we are talking about this kind of technologies? Why do we need that? The world was already somehow naturally getting adjusted. Our farmers, people, they were able to handle it. Why today we need it? Now, if you look at that, essentially the entire agriculture system, nutrition and everything comes from soil. Whatever is in our body system, it is coming from soil. Talking about. So if anything happens because of certain climatic phenomena, so it is going to affect the soil health. There are various ways that it can happen. Now, if soil health is getting affected negatively, then our health also will get affected. And already by now, many of us, we know what we eat, we become tomorrow. So choice of food, quality of food decides our future. Future means I'm talking about health. Health nahi hai to kuch bhi nahi. So now this is the situation. And if you look at that, in the soil, water, carbon, nutrient dynamics, it runs in different speed. Sometimes it is slow, sometimes it is very fast. Now, what are the regulating factors of, changing this pace of cycling, nutrient cycling? One is temperature, the other is humidity. Now, those are all again climatic parameters. So that is the link of a change of any kind of climate processes on soil processes. And if soil processes is affected, nutrient availability will be affected. If nutrient availability affected, plant growth will be affected. If plant growth is affected, human growth will be affected. Sometime in actually, I was taking a class, suddenly one girl, I don't know, sometimes these students, they look like they are sleeping. But I found they listen quite, funny. Suddenly she woke up and says, "Sir, I'm a pure non-vegetarian." आप बता रहे हो कि सब कुछ प्लांट के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है, तो I can survive. What do you eat? Sir, I eat chicken. चिकन क्या खाता है? सोच रहा है. Thinking, no, even you don't know. Sir, I am born and brought up in Delhi. Okay. But chicken you eat, then you don't know chicken what is. Then after something is said, side gemu means wheat. And I'm okay anyway. Grains. Now grains come from plant. Then she kept quiet and I say, okay, sir, yes, I understand what you are meaning. So now the thing is that our next generation also need to be aware about this fact that if our soil system is affected, our health system will be affected. And that's why Sadhguru, when he is roaming around the world as a soil chemist student, I feel very good. Chalo, koi to uthaya ye. And now, because he has a brand value, if I go and stand and seal, people will not listen. People will say, pagal ho gaya ye. Koi kaam nahi hai, soil karke bol rahe. Even within IIT campus, When I take some classes or courses, people don't appreciate much about soil because IIT students, they look for only electronics. Now, the thing is that if these processes are affected, we are gone. Why? Because of biodiversity. Now, each aspect that I'm talking here, I'm actually seeking collaboration. This presentation is done with that purpose. So these are the 5 benefits of soil biodiversity. And each one of them has some kind of relationship with climate. So we can study the impact of climate change also on the soil biodiversity. A lot of work are being carried out, but a lot can be done. Why I say so? Now, if you look at, there are plant processes and soil processes which are taking place. Now, these are the simple plant processes all of us we are aware of. These are the soil process, these are the plant process. But sometimes we ignore another important section, and that is microbial processes, who are silently working in both here and also here. And perhaps the most powerful creature, they can actually change the destiny of the entire plant processes and soil processes. So these are again area of potential collaboration. Now, look at the picture that we are going through. This is not to just, make anyone afraid of the situation, but this is reality. If you look at before independence, we had only one plant disease to think about. Agricultural technologists were worried about only one plant disease. Like human diseases are with time changing, plant diseases are also happening, but we are not keeping track of that. 1960, another new disease came, blast. So brown spot, blast. 1975, by that time most of us were born and toddlers. BLB, bacterial leaf blight, another new disease coming. 1990, all of a sudden, 4 or 5 new diseases appeared. हो क्या रहा? At that point of time, people are not that much careful to look at this trend which was silently happening. And these are certain, things which actually today we are, concerned of. But things have gone in such a scale that we need to invest huge amount of money and energy. Now here you see the list, so many diseases, new diseases. Now if I go 2025, probably 2-3 more new diseases. Now the challenge is, imagine that if such kind of new diseases are added every 5 or 10 years, then your system, your technology also had to be as fast as these organisms. Now, not only disease, but insect infestation also, you see that 1965 to 2005. Imagine the amount of challenges that our farmers are exposed to. So how smart, research is required to handle this kind of rapid growth of new diseases and infestation. What do we do? So now, if this is the situation, is that only mitigation is the option? Mitigation of climate change is the only option, or we go for adaptation, or we go for both? Now, there are a lot of debates about that. Every year, I stopped attending now COPs. Some of you might be still attending. So in COPs now, every conference of parties, every year, people are debating about mitigation and adaptation. What happened is that for 20 2011, suddenly, I forgot, I think it was in Bali. There was a discussion suddenly came up that we need a certain change, a shift, the way we are handling the agriculture system. Somebody just said, can we think of a management system, a smart management system, where there will be components of mitigation, adaptation, and plus. Now, what is that plus? So that plus is that you bring in certain technologies which will make your agriculture system climate smart agriculture. So you will have certain amount of technologies in your pocket. Now, these are, certain activities that we are at today, present day, we are carrying out, and most of them actually finally will try to address the SDGs. So CSA is now a concept which is not only adaptation and mitigation, but with a strong commitment towards sustainability. So that is the part added. Now, climate smart agriculture is a function of sustainability, adaptation, and mitigation. It's not an easy thing to do, because all of us, we are working in the field of sustainable development. We know that even handling sustainable development alone is a big challenge. Now here we are talking about adaptation and mitigation as well. So in the field of agriculture agro-technologies, we have different kind of challenges, and each challenges offers a potential collaboration. Just now, we are working for, many of you might be knowing that there is a very big, huge international project call is open. Japanese government project call. Many across the world are applying for that. It's on climate change. We are also submitting. So we are working on that proposal, and we are working actually on these kind of areas. So that's what I said when I'm talking about something here today. We are actually seeking collaboration, potential collaboration with any one of you in these areas. Again, in my group, 4 or 5 PhD students, they are also working on climate model and crop model. As I said that I'm involved core faculty of rural technology, also in disaster management. Also, we have now a Indo-Australia water center. So I have been also pulled in there. And in every place you have to have certain number of PhD students. So it has become a huge family now. Anyway, so 2 or 3 PhD, they are actually students working on crop modeling, because that is another one thing that I used to do a lot during my PhD, DNDC, DSAT, all those modeling. So we are trying to bring in the modeling aspect and look at the various aspects of the agricultural system, and to understand how climate smart technologies basically can help robust system. So you can see that how many different areas are already involved into this kind of modeling. Climate smart crop varieties, some of our biotechnologies specialists at IIT Guwahati, they are already working on, and many others here also. Some of my good friend batchmates, they are here in biological department. They are also working. So this field is well studied. Now, what is the way forward when we have all those things with us? Now, the way forward is that to build a resilient society. In the field of disaster management, we call it DRR, disaster risk reduction. And then some people call it also resilience building. And in the name of this resilience, now we have one of the world largest organization, which is hosted by Government of India, by Prime Minister's Office. Okay, the organization name is CDRI, and this organization world headquarters is Delhi. So many things are happening, friends. We need to keep track. Now, if you see the resilience of agricultural, system and the challenges, and especially today, so that our one good work should not lead to some waste. And many of us who are working in chemical laboratories, we know that at times, unknowingly, to find a solution of a chemical problem, we generate more chemical problem. We know it deep inside our heart that sometimes we do it. We are not able to manage the waste residue generated as an out product of our own research work. Sometimes we find struggle where to dispose. So that leave apart, but that's also management mainstreaming. These are four things that is challenging when you want to establish a new paradigm. A policy, finally the policy is required. Now anything new today that we'll talk about, ultimately it will be established through a enabling policy. And that's why I think that it is important to look at that how these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are linked in a single thread. And this takes time. It doesn't happen in a single day. Few strategies probably could be taken in the field of resilience. People who are working, they know it. It will not happen in a day. But we have seen that in India, we could produce good variety, soil fertilizer. Our water and agronomic technologies are quite robust. Farming systems, we are okay, but we need more advanced system. And then finally, of course, everything has to get into a national policy, because policy, without policy, we cannot implement them. Now, if you look at the roadmap that probably one can think of. Now, we want to be a developed country. Nothing wrong to see this dream. Some critical friends of mine over a cup of tea, they are very, very, what I would say, pessimistic. अरे कितना कुछ करने का है, ये क्या है, why thinking developed country जो है उसको ठीक करो. But I see in different way. What is the wrong seeing or dreaming something big? Whether we reach it or not, सपना देखने में problem क्या है? It doesn't take anything from you, your pocket. Rather, it is trying to give you an hope, something to work for. Or otherwise, we will just continue doing what we are doing. There is no challenge. A challenge, if there is no challenge, there is no life. You are a dead man walking. Now, the thing is that if we need to come from here to here, in the field of agriculture, I don't know about industry. Now, when I think from my own understanding, how can we actually go? There are two ways. To do anything good, there are only two. One is shortcut way, the other is a natural path which takes time. Now, of course, these will be your wise decision to take the shortcut or the one which is relatively reasonable which takes care of certain other things. Shortcut will certainly come with always some kind of negative impact. We all know through our life experience. Now, if we want to become from developing to developed country, whenever we travel to Netherlands, US, anywhere, we like it. There is no dust. There is no garbage around. Everything is like, see, that is, I think that one part of developed country that they make that kind of system. Now, how to do it? If we try to do it in one go, in a shortcut way, probably that will be not the right path, because tomorrow we need to be doing anything which is climate, taking concern of climate. So it has to be climate friendly. So that's why our movement days are gone. US का बन गया developed country, we need not to think about past. But today, if we want to become, we need to become developed country in a very responsible fashion. So we have to take the path in such a way that we don't reach just straight away to developed country, but we will reach towards a development which is climate friendly in nature. So in a sense that to target become developed country, we may create some kind of problem, nuisance. But if we try to achieve a climate friendly development, then we will take care of the rest of the things, because the future development path will not be the same path that has been taken by the other countries which are already developed. We understand that, we better understand it now. So low carbon, low water, low nitrogen, low energy. Now these are plus. We have also a risk that this could bring low profit and at times low interest to the stakeholder. And that's the challenge for the policymakers, because they have to convince their client your interest, your profit could affect a little bit, but still probably this is a path. Now that is the philosophy thinking that we need to discuss, debate and think about. Of course, in conference of parties and various other government, intergovernment organizations, this debate is going on, as you might be knowing. But these four components, for sure, it will be low carbon, low water, low nitrogen, and low energy path. I think our country is already trying to follow this path with various kind of challenges that it is already facing. Well, now some of the things that I just discussed now quickly in the coming 5 minutes or so, I'll discuss some of the experimental work now, only inside my lab now. Now from the institute, whatever discussion, last 5 minutes will be only the work that me and my PhD student, we have a very small lab we're trying to do. Different kinds of work we are doing, soil pollution management. We are working. Many of you who have visited Guwahati probably know it's a wonderful city. But right at the center of a city, we have the garbage dump. Entire cities, million tons of garbages right at the heart of city. Because there is no other space. Everywhere is mighty Brahmaputra. Now new solution is being sought after, because there are several studies, not only our group, many other people have carried out that enough is enough. Because there are a lot of effects, negative effects that it is creating in the surrounding environment. Some of you might be knowing this garbage dump is right there on the top of the one of the world's topmost Ramsar site. Can you imagine? And we want to be developed country. Right on the Ramsar site. Can you do it in Netherlands? Can you do it in any other developed country? रामसर साइट के ऊपर आप डंपिंग पॉसिबल नहीं है, बट उपाय भी तो नहीं है. Only complaining from our end doesn't solve the issue. The people who are sitting in government are also among us. So we need to find out scientifically, technically, and give them some alternatives. Sir, look at this is a potential alternative. So some work is being carried out there. And now this will be shifted, I heard, but when and how we have to see. 2-3 students here, 3-4 PhD, here also 2-3-4 PhD. They are working only on the microbial remediation part. I was talking about you, so probably some of this work is going on. I think one graduated, 2 more PhDs are working on the microbial and phytological remediation. And the phytological remediation that we are doing, utilizing only biodiesel plants, non-edible, because you cannot use edible plants. It is not ethically correct. So we have opted some plants which are of no use. They are not edible, but at the same time, they give a lot of anchorage to the soil. So they can be used in areas where a lot of erosion takes place. 2 more PhD students are working on nitrogen fixing and phosphorus solubilizations aspect. And you would be happy to know these all beneficial bacteria we have screened out of this dumping yard. Not from agriculture field. So me and my student, we went, of course, wearing protective gear. And we said that let us find out इस garbage के अंदर भी कुछ wealth है कि नहीं. बहुत कुछ है, हम लोग अभी just तो touch किया है. There are several hundreds of beneficial bacteria that we have isolated. धीरे धीरे एक करके release करेंगे. Now, nitrogen fixing and phosphorus solubilizers, these are already submitted its genomic sequences. Anybody can use it. It is for public use. All right. So 2 or 3 more PhD students, they are working on mycorrhizal. So we call it PGPR, a very, very interesting group of fungi. And we tried it actually to use it in combination with some biochars, which I will come in a minute. So crop residue burning is not yet an issue in Northeast, but we see the signals that in maybe 10-15 years it could become. So that's why we have taken up this issue, and we have tried to utilize the local agricultural crop waste or biomass after harvesting, whichever people leave it, because that's the part they want to burn off. That we have converted into biochar, and that biochar in combination with the mycorrhizal fungi, if you apply, it gives a magical effect in soil. So we designed, one MTech student with me, we designed a very, very low cost, because you know that in Northeastern farmer income is so low. If I devise an instrument which will cost 10,000, 12,000, that also is too much for them. They will not buy. They will not buy. They will burn it off, their residue. That's easy. So we designed something very, very low cost, which is somewhere around, after doing everything, 5,000 max. And if that fellow can get this drum, because in Northeast, all this petrol palm, they have a culture somehow. They the empty drum, they will dump it somewhere. That is another nuisance. So now people, villagers, they can go and 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, sometime they can get the drum. So if they can get the drum, then the cost will come even below 5,000. Now this kind of thing can be manufactured, And here they can produce those crop residue which otherwise they will burn. Through pyrolysis manner can be converted into biochar. So that biochar can become actually a source of soil amendment, which you see here. So we already tested all those things with different system. With vetiver, which is another wonder grass, which government of Assam and many other places are being applied for riverbank erosion restoration. So these plants also we tried. It gives a fantastic effect for different kind of soil chemical characteristic development. And when you apply it with mycorrhiza, the effect goes double or triple. Okay. Now, another line of research that is greenhouse gas emission, which 2-3 PhD more, they are working on that. So this is again one very close to my heart. I am into also the climate politics. As I said, that involved with IPCC for last almost 20 years and involved into different fora. So I have an interest also the social aspect of climate adaptation, even though being from science and technology. So one of my master students came up with the first publication, the first study for Guwahati city. We analyzed the Guwahati city's vulnerability towards climate change on the basis of professions like fruit vendor on the roadside, the coolie in the railway station, the gas supplier, rickshaw puller, pan wala, golgappa wala, etc., etc., etc. And then we find out that on the basis of different income sources and income capability, the vulnerability is also different. So we proposed a system called climate smart urban planning, which can be adopted for cities which are upcoming, booming like anything, like Guwahati. Few of my students are working in the field because rice field is one of the major sources of greenhouse gases. So they are measuring. In Northeast, we do not have much authenticated data, which can straight away go into the national communication for climate change analysis. So we are carrying out in the field through Hutchinson closed box chamber system, and we will find out different kind of system, different kind of practices which can reduce the greenhouse gas emission. This work is in still progress. One fellow, he doesn't like field work. He says, "Sir, my modeling from his field work, he is the good in field. So from his field work, this fellow sitting at AC room, he already started doing many things. This boy, for PhD student, I am telling you, this boy, he started working PhD 1 year before, still doesn't have a publication. This fellow, from his data, already published a paper. Now, how can I manage this guy? That's a challenge. So what I have now done is that his result will go to his Manos result. Manos field result, he will now analyze with his modeling output, and then he will come out with that. And I'm telling him, trying to make him convinced there is no alternative to field experiment. So please don't get upset if you face this kind of situation. In my lab, it has happened. 2 years junior boy, this fellow is working, but he got the paper first because of the technologies that he is using anyway. So biochar I talked about. I need not to talk about all these benefits. Many people might be knowing it. What is this different thing that we are trying to do at IIT? Normally, the mandate is to do this. Professor Swaminathan Foundation, Terry, I mentioned. So I worked at NGO also for 10 years. Remote villages like Kalahandi, in Punjab, Garhsankar, Madhya Pradesh, Narsinghpur, Odisha, Jaipur. So, I know the life of the people in the village level. So now God has given me the opportunity to work, research, and take it to the field. Professor Swaminathan always used to tell me, Sudeep, सब लैब में रिसर्च कर रहा है, अच्छा पब्लिकेशन लेके निकल रहा है, स्टूडेंट अच्छा पीएचडी, कुछ हो नहीं रहा है. Now that in a very small way, though it is not my mandate, but I have the strength, confidence because of working 10 years at the ground level in NGO. Not many people. As I said you that I worked in Home Ministry, in NGO, and also academy, and also international academy. So God has given me that I know how to work there. So this kind of result that I have talked with you, I have taken it to the field. And as my residence now in Tamil Nadu, so I had the opportunity to take it. We found that rice biochar, this rice ko burn karte hai Punjab mein. Instead of burning, if they convert into biochar, they get this fantastic honeycomb structure where all kinds of beneficial microbes can easily go and stay. And we know that if you apply biochar in soil, this is going to be there 100+ years. So for 100+ years, you are giving a safe space for beneficial bacteria within this kind of honeycomb structure. What a wonderful opportunity. Cost, almost nil. Benefit, no burning. Impact, climate change. Your income, increasing. Why not? It's a win-win situation. We have taken this result to the field in Tamil Nadu. If anybody is from Tamil Nadu, might be knowing the Pudukkottai. Pudukkottai is a district. It is from Trichy. Not very far, maybe 30 minutes from Trichy main road. So we tried there because at that point of time, I had all this contact, no? Because when I was working as a project director in MS Swaminathan Foundation, I visited all this field. I used to speak quite okay Tamil. So then now all these results that you are seeing, we applied in the field. Application of biochar along with different kind of locally available material to enhance the soil quality, soil moisture capacity. All right. So we tried it at the field level and result was quite encouraging. So some of the other work which concept that this is one concept that we have given, that BCM AMF. So means biochar along with AMA, Arbus mycorrhizal fungi, is a fungi. These are already separately, they are good, the plant growth promoter. But at the same time, if you apply this biochar, which you produce from material which otherwise people will burn, now these together actually double the benefit, or maybe triple. If somebody evaluate that, we'll find it out. But we have found that it gives a better impact when you apply this together. All right, that's is the end. So what I feel is that the challenge is to take the technologies even today from lab to the land, and somehow we need to be equipped with new skills and tools, especially for the students. And most especially is that we need to develop some kind of tools and techniques which are low cost, because otherwise all technologies which we are producing in lab, yeah, we are happy. 1420 impact factor journal students is getting good postdoc. I am getting good fame, couple of round of applause. Then what? If those results are somebody is not able to use, I don't think there is no use of research that we are carrying out. That's my personal, please, you or anyone can disagree. So I am very, very clear about that, whatever technologies we will be doing, that has to be low cost in nature so that it can be implementable. And I am hopeful that at IIT Guwahati somehow because of our location and the ecosystem surrounding us, most of the researcher there has this kind of mentality. Anything, even in nanotechnology department, some of you might be knowing many of our colleagues there. So we are discussing. There are many good things are coming out. People are discussing. This is very costly. We have to do something which is cheaper. So that awareness is there. So anyway, thank you very much for your patience, listening me, and I'm now at your disposal. You want to ask anything, and just few sets of people wherever I was teaching in the last couple of years. I have shifted too many places. Perhaps I don't know, but I feel it's good because of certain reason I had to. So JNU, these people, they're all settled. Tezpur Central University. Tezpur is a central university. I hope some of you already know it. And those guys are all at IIT, and there are 25 more. I have not put them here. Thank you very much. Feel free.
So if any of you have any questions?
Solution about the soil quality enhancement. You showed the solution for increasing the health of the soil, right?
Yeah.
So what are the solution? Because these solutions are for the small scale, but what will be the solution for the large scale soil quality?
The small scale can be converted into large scale. If you have resources, we are developing biochar in kilos. There are organizations who are converting or producing biochar in tons. Okay. So the pyrolyzer we have a very small pyro. We saw it. Right? It costed for me 700 rupees. I have given him the figure 5,000 because I have included data everything. The time of my student, my time, electrical event, whatever energy we have used, we saw that some biomass, half of the biomass which is suitable for converting biochar we have used, and the others we have used as a source of energy. That also is calculated. So calculating that, it has come to 5,000. But if you have that kind of finalizing, then it will be cost to a crores. In India, which farmer will be buying? A company will buy. Recently, last month, I was in Finland. Finland is one of the leading countries in the field of producing biochar. Many people don't know. You know, which is the mobile that you have grown up listening with, brand name?
Mobile company.
Company.
Technology.
Nokia. Nokia was born in Finland. You know that? You knew.
Yeah.
So Finland is known for working on small things. Biochar is also nanoparticle size level, right? So one of my PhD students, and he's from here, but shifted base now to IIT Guwahati. So she is working now on biochar and converting into a bio nanomaterial. Yes, she has converted it already. Now, That is the level. Now, the cost involved for conversion of these technology is huge. Because in lab, when produce, right? So that is what I'm telling you, that to convert into a larger scale is possible. Challenge is that resources, technology is available. In fact, in Shillong itself, there is a ICR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research Institution is there. They have almost from here to top, like this kind of, fertilizer. Tons of biochar they can produce. But now that machine is shut down. कुछ हो गया इधर उधर. The maintenance cost, the charge is 15 lakhs. Institute said no, you buy another. So that's it. Yes, sir.
Solving, now, the question was, how do you do it in a large scale?
That's what you have to produce more.
That's from the financial point of view. I'm asking from the soil quality. It's not going to be the same across different districts or different states. So how are you measuring the quantity of biochar that needs to be added in the house?
Okay. Yes. So for that, you have to have first the basic soil qualities. Okay. Now, Government of India has a huge mission. You know, soil health card. Every district supposed to have. District commissioner is the person in charge to ensure it. So soil health card, when you will find hand, you will get to know in the district, location wise, where which kind of soil is. So you know that which are the nutrients are lacking there. Right? You know that nitrogen is lacking there. Phosphorus lacking there. So accordingly, so soil system is also like that. If I am lacking in say 1 vitamin, that should be given to you, not all others. So similar way, but you need to know the fundamental status of the soil. Okay. And again, large scale, suppose we are doing it experimenting in 1 kilo, 5 kilo soil. If you want to do it into 1 hectare of field, first you have to produce more biochar because there is standard application also, like largely 5 to 10 ton of per hectare. People say, but there are soil where already nutrient status is good. You don't need. So in that case, you apply suppose 2 to 4 below 5 ton per hectare. Just time. So you can mix it and spread. So it depends on the basic quality of the soil. And then you need to, if you want to a larger scale, you need more amount of biochar. And that is why this kind of drum. Now this kind of drum we are sending manufacturing locally, and from Guwahati by train we are sending to Gujarat. In Gujarat, there are 10 villages are taken by one big organization, adopted. So we are sending from here because the cost, local manufacturing cost is much higher rather than sending 20 or 30 manufactured in our place and send by train. Economy is important. You have to see it this way. Yes.
Denmark has a very good way of disposing waste. It's not dumped in the middle of the city like you had.
For many, no, I said developed country.
Sorry. Is it not possible for us to copy the same disposal methodology in India?
Madam, this is a long time question in everyone's mind. But that has to start from our own home. We have to ask ourselves, Are we segregating our dry waste, wet waste separately? Are we segregating our kitchen waste, factory, papers, wasted clothes separately? How many of us? How many of us? Even wet waste and dry waste, we are not able to separate, or we don't want to. Not able. We don't want to. So wet waste and dry waste means piece of paper, biscuit wrapper. This can be separated at the home level. Just 2 dustbins. You can afford to do that. Even if you don't have 2 dustbins, 2 those recyclable poly bag. Because wet and dry, these 2 mixing itself is a very smart. Forget about other things. You are not able to, again, not able to be the wrong one. We are not doing it at our home. I can expect from government. So I think that before I personally think in that way, before we complain somebody, who is government is us only. We have community, 100 households, separately we submit wet and dry waste. You will see your communities change. So I think that we need to also move. Do you agree, madam? If you disagree, you can disagree, but you have to convince me.
Bangalore, I know it, I speak for myself. I segregate for my.
Then it's great. Even in one house.
It is compulsory in Bangalore, sir. We have to segregate.
In Bangalore city, it is compulsory to try and make separation. But we don't see city clean, that's the
And I found it. My wife is a Canadian, but she spent good amount of time here, childhood, because she belongs to army community. She was very sad when walking. Everywhere we are walking, I was telling city. We are from Assam, where people can expect it will be dirty road. But things have changed in the last 5 years, dramatically. Now here, I come, but my coming Bangalore was IIC, which is heaven. And this time, as I was staying in a well outside, there are one of the most educated cities in the country, perhaps we pay the highest tax, not sure, at least at par with the top metros in the country. The world leading companies are here. People are earning at the average earning be one of the highest. ये रोड में जो चीज मैं देखा ये बेचा के लिए. So it's difficult to walk on the footpath, and especially after 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock evening. People are just remaining right there. I mean, me and my wife are walking, and those fellows don't have that same about courtesy. I don't expect courtesy from these guys. Shame, opinion. Such kind of they are taking the street on the footpath, they started giving. The excuse is that they are drunk. I'm sorry, I did not want to share, but last 4 days, my walking to the footpath, I'm sitting and saying something about those areas. We are St. Joseph University. It's a beautiful university. Outside, everybody. I mean, rotten animal, footpath in between. If aged person is going on, any point of time they can straight vertically drop into the drain. It used to be 20 years, 30 years back in Guwahati. But in Kolkata, this was very, very common. It's falling inside the drain. used to be a very common fact. But those are gone now. These are history. But here I saw my wife almost. तो सोच के बात करते जा रहे हैं, we're talking about something about science admission or your thing. Suddenly I shouted, "Hey, watch out!" Because the calvert is going this. Suddenly that one calvert is like this, facing towards your face, and in between there is yeah. So if you are not watchful, you will hit and just break your brain or something. I don't know. I'm bit. Maybe I'm put up in the wrong place. Or maybe that's the area. Is it a fact on everywhere else, or some of people are nodding that yes? It's sad. Not expected in Bangalore. Because all of us live in Bangalore is the example. Sorry, I'm hurting someone.
Okay, if we don't have any more questions, let us thank one more question.
Facing a difficulty like convincing them to actually transition to these new methods. I mean, like if burning agriculture waste is cheaper than using biochar, then why would they use biochar and not just continue burning agriculture?
What is your name?
That should be.
That's a good question. But you know that go to a supermarket, buy a t-shirt. What do you first do? You look for the brand or you look for the price. Whenever you touch the t-shirt, first belief, then what is the next step you take? Right? You need to concentrate. First, they will see whether it works or not. If it works and the cost is less, done. No advertisement. हम लोग गुजरात में भेज रहे हैं, मुझे तो पता तक नहीं था. Guwahati disconnected from the rest of the country. उधर बैठ के हम लोग चुपचाप ड्राम फार्म बना रहे हैं. We are happy. No newspaper coverage, no news, nothing needed. I'm happy. If I myself alone can help 5 farmers, I'm happy. Like me, if you can help another 5, मैं आपके लिए थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर सकता हूँ. पालन पर होगा ऐसा सोच रहा हूँ. So instead of that, see, we're doing that. Message went somewhere. God knows. गुजरात में भेज रहे हैं. और वो भी कितनी बड़े कंपनी. Not a good company carrying out. Big giant vaccines. What's the giant? They are now funded.
Let us now thank Professor Sudip Mitra with a round of applause. Thank you, sir. May I now request Professor J. Srinivasan to kindly present a token of appreciation to Professor Mitra.
Oh.
Thank you. May I request all of you to please join for a group photo.
Yes.
That is the same. Yeah. Direct at the corner.